Football is really for a lot of colors, but the monkeys don't even understand why. There are stories that seem to be mythical, but it's very real. It's like Barcelona is in debt. Transfer fee, with many clubs that haven't paid off yet, and yet they continue to struggle with the problem. Salary debt. There are some pillars in change throughout the seasons, but you won't believe it. Barcelona from now on will not be teased as FC. Single amount of debt. When recently, Paris Saint-Germain just joined the race, with even more intense scale. According to that, the rich French don't want to be called a paycheck. So they were going to shush. The money needs to be paid carefully. And even the people they turn their faces to. He is a living legend of the club. Sao has 7 years of seniority attached to the Park of the Princes. That's Kylian Mbappe. With the most noble legacy he left for PSG, it's about 55 million euros, including salary and bonus of the last month of the contract. The club has not paid the striker. The French. Due to debt collection during the summer 2000 without success, Mbappe has even moved this issue to the legal committee of the French Football Authority. And through an intermediate unit of the French Football Federation, the European football governing body UEFA. If things can't be solved, high P capability will be banned plastic and fly out of the Champions League until Mbappe gets his share of the money. This may be a bitter ending, but elongation of PESG, but also by themselves. I made everything as bad as it is now. To get to the bottom of the problem, we need to go back in time. Looking at summer 2002 time, Mbappe had a golden opportunity to move to Real Madrid. And of course it's still a business. Free assignment only for Lisbon Code. To prevent that from happening, PSG sought the persuasion of the French president. That made Mbappe reluctant. Approval of contract delivery with the pitch park team has a prince. The new contract is valid for 3 years from 2000 to 2005, including 1 year as agreed. And 2 renewal activation options, a year chop and another year by Mbappe. Decide. There is one more clause in this contract. That's the striker. The French will receive loyalty payments up to 80 million euros as long as he stays with PJ until the end of the season 2002-04. However, things didn't go right in the 2002 season. PSG and Mbappe have only committed to healing on paper. Because in addition to the Ligue 1 France finished second at the World Cup 2002, along with that is PSG stopped from the first round of the Champions League 8. That, of course, made Mbappe unhappy. That led you not to activate the RA clause. Contract with PRG to the summer 2000-125. Even though the PSG leadership is extremely upset about it. But they don't forget either. Activate the extension yourself with to Mbappe. Avoid losing the guy in the summer 2002 BA. But if so, the rich French guy pay half the money for loyalty. Up to 44 million euros for Mbappe before 31/7 2002 BA. It's all in the new contract. To avoid that happening, PEG made a move to go underground, while keeping Mbappe at his headquarters all summer, where for the whole team, following in the footsteps of the new coach, went to Europe to fight. Dissatisfied with that, Mbappe asks PES to sell him to Real Madrid, although was Los Bundos open, but the representative of Ligue 1 shouted very high price to avoid the loss they've made. On the Real Madrid side, of course, they flatly refused, leading to the prospect of PSG to invite the giants from Saudi Pro League is looking at this folder. Mbappe, though, was resolute after he realized, I made the mistake of driving a real car. Should be one. He completed the final year of his contract with PSG, and the team has to pay the full amount of loyalty. 2 points to the penalty. There is no other option. PSG are completely under the Mbappe flag, and in the anger of President Nathan Conan-Fai, Green captain of the Princes have considered the option detention of his number 1 striker in the youth end team of the 2002 BA 2002. Let's wear it for coach Luis Ericer. No matter how it goes, this part was shared by a Pape itself. After he came to Real Madrid, the club is still determined to stretch with the Ninja Turtle. But they gave the Avatar another option. Is that you have to give up your 88 million euro loyalty fund in exchange for a ticket back to the first team. But so tense that Mbappe continues to remain indifferent. PEG again has a move. No more in the ground. I went to 18 hells earlier this year. Specifically by P. You need Mbappe to win the Champions League. So the leadership went into the allow this striker to return to training under coach Eric. To 2/2000 April 2nd. Unexpected payment of a reward for their loyalty. The app with hope. The 26-year-old striker will sign a contract for at least 1 more year. The Mbappe soon looked out. PSG wants to activate the clause. The club sold him to Real Madrid instead of leaving for free. They want to cut some holes. But President Florino Pérez of Los Puncas not wanting to pay, even if it's just a transfer fee for PSG. That's what Mbappe's intentions were. And too spicy. Before this, PSG defied all rules or agreements to proceed with a refusal to pay Mbappe from April to 6/2000. 2 months is the last 3 months of the contract. And that's also the source for the upcoming lawsuit. PEG claims they paid Mbappe a loyalty fee. Then he moved to Real Madrid. That's why that rich French gentleman to pay no more for Mbappe. Vicen dynasty in reverse. As of 5/2000 April 2nd, the lawyer was hired by Mbappe's mother, Lamari, worked with PRG soon to clarify this. Mbappe's side initially demanded PG pay €80 million, but later reduced to €55 million, about €36 million before tax of an achievement bonus for your last 3 months at PFG. The purpose of Mbappe is simple. This is to pay off the previously paid loyalty, not allow the club referred to it as a bonus. But they kept asking, and PSG still didn't respond. Mbappe had no choice, is to take the club to court. According to the Lemon de la, on 8/8, Mbappe and his lawyers didn't just file lawsuits in the algorithm and the SAO of Real Madrid, complaints through the Ligue Organizing Committee, the French Football Federation and the European Football Federation, French football governing body LFP, have also participated in legal proceedings for this case. The legal committee. The LFP has the right to place a transfer ban on PSG until the case is resolved. To quote the 200th anniversary of this organization, the club must pay a salary, as promised to the player, no later than the last day of the month. And if Mbappe's claim is well-founded, the DAG is at risk of facing sanctions from UEFA or even FIFA. There are absolutely no exceptions when teams owe players wages, usually banned from transfer, or lose their license to compete in UEFA competitions. There is FIFA. Come here. PSG are about to receive another blow from Mbappe. Although Mbappe's parents have spoken to the media that she will try, did not break the relationship of his son and PSG. But it doesn't break anything when Mbappe and President Nixon conify. Soon we can't be on the same side anymore. Remember when the 1900-born striker left Paris? I am grateful after 7 seasons, but strangely, president of the club, he was the only person Mbappe did not thank in the breakup announcement on social media. Turns out you can't be grateful. People who owe their money. It's too ironic for PSG fans. When Mbappe isn't one way, another way. There are ongoing links with the club. From La Liga, last year, the board has asked coach Luis Suarez go to training without a key striker in the team. Mbappe was already too disgruntled when he was constantly replaced. Needs a goal. But what effect? When it's in his mind, it's no longer in Prince's Park. Now everyone thinks they're right. PSG accuses Mbappe of betraying the club, while the captain of the French team, the old team, is being paid. Let's take each other to court, waiting for the verdict. It's probably the only thing to do right now. A loss is more loss. Only with the SAO that PSG took 7 years to suck the bitter fruit. And let's wait and see. The decision will benefit any party in the near future.